Here's a stat that should wake you up. Google's search dominance just fell below 90% for the first time in over a decade. I know what you're thinking. So what? 90% is still a monopoly, right? Wrong. Because here's what most contractors don't realize. While you've been obsessing over Google, your Google business profile, and Google Ads, 68% of consumers have already used ChatGPT to research local services, and 43% are using AI search tools daily. Nearly half are searching for contractors on Facebook. A third are on Instagram, and AI tools are increasingly pulling reviews from multiple platforms, not just Google. Let me say that again. When AI tools recommend local businesses, they're pulling reviews from Yelp, BBB, Angie, and a dozen other sites. And while Google's AI overviews aren't showing up for most small local searches yet, that's changing fast. The bigger companies are already seeing it, and if the trend holds, this will be standard for all local searches within the next year. And if you're not managing those platforms, you're invisible to a massive chunk of your market. Or worse, you're invisible for all the wrong reasons. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our weekly contractor marketing content. Let me tell you about a conversation I had last month that perfectly illustrates this problem. I was talking to the owner of RoofMaxx, a big franchise with over 5,000 Google reviews with a 4.9 star rating. In fact, they had a 4.9 stars across most platforms. Do you think they'd be crushing it, right? Every marketing guru out there says, just get more Google reviews and you'll dominate. But here's what was actually happening. Their phones were ringing less, leads were down, and they couldn't figure out why. So they started digging into what was going on. And here's what they discovered. Yes, they had a 4.9 across the board. When you have 5,000 plus reviews, even a 4.9 rating means you get some negative reviews mixed in there. That's just math, right? Out of 5,000 reviews, maybe 200 or 300 are 3-star or lower. And here's the problem. Google's AI doesn't just look at your star rating, it reads the actual reviews and actually pulls out themes, especially negative ones. So when someone searches, is RoofMaxx reliable? Google's AI was reading through those reviews and saying things something like RoofMaxx has a 4.9 star rating with over 5,000 reviews, but some customers mentioned concerns about pricing, transparency, and communication issues. And even though 95% of those reviews were positive, the AI was still surfacing and highlighting the 5% of the complaints. And that mixed message, that caveat, and the AI summary was absolutely killing the conversion rate, because most customers see that and think, well, even if the AI is mentioning pricing issues, maybe I should look elsewhere. And that's what the scary part. Think about it. You could have a 4.9 star rating everywhere, thousands of happy customers, but if the AI picks up on the same complaint showing up in just 5% of your reviews, maybe communication issues or pricing concerns, it's going to mention that in the summary. And when a homeowner sees that, they're gone. They're already skeptical. Only 11% of people fully trust what they see online anyway, so they're looking for a reason to keep searching. And the AI just gave them one. This isn't a RoofMaxx problem. This is happening to contractors everywhere right now. Because while you were focused on Google, the search landscape fragmented into a dozen different platforms. ChatGPT has over 800 million users, and it's on track to hit 1 billion by early 2026. And it's pulling businesses' recommendations from Bing, Foursquare, not Google. Bing's desktop market share is now 17.5%. Now every Windows 11 PC defaults to Apple Maps powers Siri, which 49% of iPhone users use for local search. 73% of consumers increased their AI search usage in the last year alone. And here's what actually hurts. Even when Google shows the regular search results, 60% of people never click on anything anymore. The AI overview already gave them the answer they needed. So you could be ranking number 1 organically, which used to be the holy grail, and people still aren't coming to your site. Your old playbook of you just rank on Google and you're set, that doesn't work anymore. And if you haven't figured that out yet, you're losing jobs to the contractors who have. All right, so here's what we've done at Contractor Marketing Pros and what you need to do if you want to survive and thrive in this new reality. We shifted from a Google first strategy to what we call a 360-degree reputation and visibility strategy. And it's built on core platforms that you absolutely cannot ignore anymore. Number 1, Google, still the foundation and the most important. Look, I'm not saying abandon Google, not even close. Google is still by far the most important platform for local contractors. This is your foundation. everything else built on top of it. I've done probably a dozen videos on how to dominate Google, optimizing your Google business profiles, getting reviews the right way, ranking organically, running local service ads. If you haven't watched those videos, go back through the channel and after this video. That's where you start. But here's a key. Google's dominance is no longer sufficient on its own. It's absolutely necessary. You can't skip it, but it won't carry you out like it used to. Keep your Google business profile optimized, get reviews, respond to every single one, post updates, rank in the map pack. But understand that Google's now one piece of a much bigger puzzle. The biggest piece, yes, but not the only one. 2. Yelp, the trust validator. Here's why Yelp matters more than ever. First, Apple Maps uses Yelp reviews to power Siri recommendations. So when someone says, "Hey Siri, find me a plumber near me," Yelp ratings are a major factor in what gets recommended. Second, ChatGPT and AI tools rely heavily on Yelp, partly because they don't have direct access to Google's review data, and probably because Yelp's strict review filtering creates what AI researchers call cleaner data. Third, Google's AI overview cites Yelp constantly. In fact, over 60% of the sources Google's AI edit references are non-Google platforms, with Yelp being one of the top. So if you've been ignoring Yelp because it's just restaurants, you're making a $50,000 mistake every year in lost leads. 3. Bing Places, the AI pipeline. This one's sneaky but critical. ChatGPT gets its local business data primarily from Bing Places and Foursquare, not Google. In fact, research shows 60-70% of ChatGPT's local recommendations come straight from Foursquare's database, which sync with Bing. Translation: if you're not on Bing Places, you literally don't exist to ChatGPT. And with 68% of consumers now using ChatGPT for local search, that's a massive blind spot. Plus, Bing's desktop market share is growing because it's integrated to Windows 11 Edge, Microsoft Office, and even some automotive systems. You're missing 15-20% of desktop searches if you're not optimized there. 4. Better Business Bureau, the credibility anchor. BB might seem old school, but here's why it matters. When Google's AI is evaluating whether to recommend you, it explicitly looks at BBB ratings as a trust signal. An 8+ rating on BBB can be the difference between being included in an AI overview or getting passed over. Plus, it's one of the few platforms where you can protect, proactively resolve disputes, and show responsiveness, which AI picks up on as a positive sentiment signal. 5. Apple Business Connect, the iPhone ecosystem. If your customers have iPhones, and statistically, homeowners with higher disposable income skew heavily toward iPhone, you need to be optimized for Apple Maps. Apple Business Connect lets you control how you appear on Maps, Siri Wallet, and even CarPlay. It's a walled garden, but it's a massive one. And if you're not in, you're invisible to millions of voice searches happening every day. Now, let me explain why this 360 approach isn't optional anymore. It's because of how Google's AI's overviews work. Now, full transparency. If you're a smaller contractor, you might not be seeing AI overviews on your searches yet. But here's what's happening right now with bigger companies and what's coming for everyone soon. When someone searches for a business or searches best roofer and city, Google's starting to show an AI-generated summary that pulls from everywhere. Your Google reviews, your Yelp reviews, your BBB rating, mentions on Angie, Thumbtack, HomeAdvisor, your Glassdoor reviews, even Reddit threads, and local news articles. This AI summary appears above everything else. Above your ad, above the map pack, above organic results. And it has a power to make you or break you in 3 seconds. Let's go back to the RoofMaxx example. They had 5,000 plus reviews at a 4.9 rating across multiple platforms. But because AI reads the content and reviews, not just a star rating, Google's AI was pulling out and highlighting recurring negative themes, even though those themes only appeared in 5% of their total reviews. The AI was basically saying they have excellent ratings overall, but some customers report issues with pricing and communication, and was mixed message was killing the conversion rate, even with a 4.9 rating and thousands of positive reviews. This is exactly why we shifted our entire client strategy. We now manage reputation across all platforms simultaneously because Google's AI is looking at all of them when it decides what to say about you. You can't just game this with just one Google reviews. You need consistent positive sentiment everywhere, or the AI will expose your weak points. So here's exactly what we need to do, starting this week. Step 1. Audit your 360 presence. Go to Google, Yelp, Bing Places, BBB, and Apple Business Connect. Search for your business. Screenshot what you find. Be honest about the gaps. Chances are at least 2 to 3 of those profiles are either unclaimed, outdated, or have unresolved negative reviews. That's your baseline. Step 2, claim and optimize everything. Claim every single listing. Make sure your name, address, and phone number are identical across all platforms. Even a small inconsistency confuses AI systems and dilutes your authority. Fill out every field. Add photos, write descriptions. The more complete your profiles, the more data AI has to work with. Step 3, distribute your review requests. Stop sending 100% of your customers to Google. Rotate your review requests. Week 1 or 2, Google. Week 3, Yelp. Week 4, Facebook or BBB. Over time, you build distributed reputation that protects you from algorithm changes and gives an AI a complete picture. Step 4, monitor and respond everywhere. Set up alerts for new reviews on all platforms. Respond to every single one, positive or negative. Responses feed into AI sentiment analysis and add address issues immediately. That unresolved BBB complaint from 2023 is still hurting you today. Step 5, create multi-platform content. Write FAQ content, post project case studies, share customer stories, publish this content on your site, your content, your Google profile, your social media. The more places AI can find authoritative information about you, the better. Look, I get it. This sounds like a lot of work. And if you're trying to run your business and manage marketing across 5 platforms, it is. But here's the thing. Your competitors who will figure this out will eat your lunch. The contractors who are winning right now aren't the ones the best at Google ranking. They're the ones who show up everywhere their customers are already looking. Google, ChatGPT, Yelp, Siri, Bing. At Contractor Marketing Pros, this is exactly what we do. We shifted our entire approach to this 360-degree strategy, and we're guaranteeing our clients 50 to 150% traffic growth by optimizing across the entire ecosystem, not just Google. If you want us to audit your current presence and show you exactly where you're losing leads, head to contractormarketingpros.net and book a free strategy call. We'll show you what Google's AI is actually saying about you, where your reputation has gaps, and how to fix it before your competitors do. That's contractormarketingpros.net. Link is in the description because Google isn't the only game in town. And if you're still playing like it is, you're already behind. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.